Welcome back. It's time for Media Watch, our look at the top stories in the international press. And James Creedon has rounded them up for us. Good evening, James.
Good evening, Anna.
There's been lots of discussion online today about the beginnings of Nicolas Sarkozy's presidential campaign. And there have been some spoofs of his campaign poster and his slogan.
That's right. Let's take a look at the original poster, because there are a lot of other versions of it in the last 24 hours. La France forte, a strong France with a sort of reassuring looking French president.
A very serene background as well.
That's right. And you can see there the sea in the background. Now, first of all, first point to be made, a website called PC Impact determined that the actual scene that they took in the background is the Aegean Sea in Greece. So perhaps not the best.
It's not even in France? Wouldn't someone in the communications team think about that?
But you see, this has happened before. Let's take a look at this photo, or this poster for the Front National, far-right party. This homeless person here is actually an American actor. And on this socialist campaign here for the Socialist Party Youth, that's actually a photo of the UMP youth.
I can't believe it. That's interesting.
Marketing,
so it's nothing unique.
Right. And I suppose in the past, this sort of stuff wouldn't have been uncovered, but now, you know, everybody in their own homes with their personal computers have the tools really to do this research and to find out the origins of the photos used in these posters.
The medium is the message, only the photo matters.
Exactly. Now, just to show you some of the détournements, as they say in French, the skits, I suppose.
Wow.
Il faut une France forte. Now, here you have, after this more famous image of Merkozy, right? Now you've got Giscozy. This is a mixture of Giscard d'Estaing, president up to 1981, who went for re-election, had a similar slogan to Sarkozy with France forte on the poster. Anyway, that was one. How about, instead of La France forte, just to remind people of the original, it was that, right? La France forte. And here we now have Le Francfort, right? Le Francfort, which is
Frankfurt sausage.
A German sausage. Lots of symbolism there. And there, Sarkozy conspicuously absent.
A free France, La France libre.
I think we know what they're getting at there. And here, this is, I'm really cold, I need to put on a jumper because he's outdoors. And finally, instead of Le France forte, Le France frotte, which really doesn't make any sense at all. It's just a scrubbing brush.
It's just a
kitchen kind of scrubber.
People on the internet being clever.
Exactly. There you go.
Next to a report on the French election put out by CNN, it's generated some reaction here in France.
That's right.
I have to say, I liked it. I loved that.
It's funny. They did a good job, but I thought that a lot of French people would find it a little bit insulting. Let's roll the pictures, actually, of this report, which was conducted by Jim Bitterman, a veteran CNN correspondent in Paris. Now, he used quiche to represent the first and second rounds of the French presidential race. Quiche, very French. Presidential elections, very French. Made sense for him.
It was just a great way to illustrate how French politics work.
It was funny, and it gets you looking. Now, let's take a listen, actually, to how he described the individual candidates. So we'll just take a listen to that.
For example, onions. Perhaps they should represent conservative President Nicolas Sarkozy, because everyone says his austerity program makes you want to cry. There is bacon, perhaps best representing Sarkozy's socialist opponent, Francois Hollande, who seems to favor fattening up social programs and the number of state employees. And then you may want to heat things up a notch by throwing in a hot pepper or two. They would probably best represent Marine Le Pen, the extreme right candidate. She is definitely going to spice up the race.
It's witty.
It's good. Now, actually, I thought French people would be kind of insulted by that, but I went on Twitter to find some reactions, and I couldn't find anyone criticizing it. This guy here, Laurent Gobenin, he says, very funny. This analogy is very funny. Check it out. Check it out. So French people seemed to see the humour in it.
And finally, animal rights group PETA is getting in trouble for an ad campaign.
That's right. Now, just to have a look at the website here, or the webpage of The Guardian, who illustrated this. Essentially, they're saying often kind of sexy pictures or shocking pictures are used in advertising campaigns, even by PETA. Here you have Pamela Anderson in a lettuce bikini. But have they taken it too far with this latest ad featuring domestic violence and promoting veganism? Let's take a look.
This is Jessica. She suffers from BWV-AKT boom. Boyfriend went vegan and knocked the bottom out of me. A painful condition that occurs when boyfriends go vegan and can suddenly bring it like a tantric porn star. Please go to bwvaktboom.com and learn to go vegan safely.
Right,
so
they were using shock tactics. They were using shock tactics to make sure the video goes viral because they don't have a big budget for advertising. But really, a company that is promoting animal rights seems to be promoting domestic violence in order to do so. It certainly seems to have crossed a red line.
James Creedon, thanks very much for bringing us these videos. That was Media Watch on France 24. Stay with us. Coming up, we'll have a news update with all the international headlines, including the latest from New York. The UN General Assembly has just approved a resolution backing an Arab plan calling for Syria's leader to step down. We'll bring you more with our correspondent at the UN in a couple minutes.